Good evening, good evening. I was not gonna do a video. I was a couple of times. Things came up. Uh, then had a glass of wine, having my sleepy time tea. I was sitting here and I said, you know what? Just I felt like doing a damn video. A little bit of a rambling. It's been an interesting day, past couple of weeks. Some things on my mind, trying to let it go. I'm always in the search for the truth, right? Um, the absolute, that thing that binds us all together. And I do a lot of research. I do a lot of watching documentaries, listening to books and different things, and looking for common denominators. And I always come to there's not one thing that works for everybody. So I always try to drill down, first of all, what works for me, right? Because I can't do anything for everyone else if I can't do it for myself first. And just because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody else. Behind me, one of the things that keeps resonating with me, which I learned a while back with some online marketing that I was doing, a program that I was in, and every day we had a call. They called it Plan, Do, Check, Adjust. And it would go over what your plan was, what you're doing, check your results, and then make adjustments. So the only thing I really added to that was you got to have a goal, right? You have a goal, a purpose, what you're going to do. You have to make a plan. You have to take action, and you have to check your results because you have to see if what you're doing is working, and then make adjustments. And that applies with I mean, I just keep coming back to that. Whether you're wanting to lose weight, whether you're wanting to find a job, whatever it is. And I don't have it in front of me. I came up with my own planner, which I've dealt with planners before, so I came up with my own. But to sit down every morning, I was sitting there one day thinking, why is it so hard for me to sit down and do that? And it's we call things hard, but is it really that hard? It's just I find it challenging. That's an obstacle for me to get over, and that's life. And I tend to go through this. The more time I spend with people, I'm an empath, and I tried to avoid that. I really don't. Everybody deals with it differently. Different people that are empaths. And I try to be in control of my emotions because being an empath, a lot of things affect you. And I've, it's, don't really care for the word control, but you have to be in control, right? You don't have to be if you don't want to be, but uh, I've come to grips with a lot of things. Death is one of them. Mm, had a lot of things I wanted to share. Uh, we life, what's it all about? Why are we here? What's our purpose? What are we doing? And I always find myself, I'm not the one to give advice, but this is, a buddy of mine told me today, he says, a lot of times when you do videos, they just punch me right in the face. And I tell him most of the time when I do videos, I'm talking to myself, but they apply because a lot of people go through the same thing I'm going through. Uh, recently out of a relationship, uh, empty nester, which I guess it's been, over a year now. And it's interesting because I had a conversation with a friend of mine. We were talking about some people, and uh, the similar things, couples becoming empty nesters, and they put so much focus on their kids that when the kids are gone, they realize they don't really like each other. And the only thing that kept them going was the focus on the kids. And that kind of gives us that purpose, that sense of being, right? Is to serve. And I used to question that because, a lot of people say you have to be in service. And, whether it's religious or whether it's on the business side, you have to serve. And for me to accept the fact that the reason why I came to this to earth was to serve someone, other people, it didn't resonate with me. But in a sense, that's what we do because I kind of related it to uh, authors, people that write books, but they're not very well known, right? Because I've come across some people that write these very empowering books for self improvement. They're somewhat recluse, but they're serving, right? The stuff that they write serves a lot of people, and I think that's, of course, everything I say doesn't apply to everybody, but we have to find our purpose here, whatever it may be, and part of that was for me to just take it down in the moment. What's my purpose in this moment? Uh, yeah, it's been really strange for me because I feel sometimes when I let my guard down, I feel like I'm in the same place. I don't have the wealth that I want. I don't have the relationship that I want. And I'm not in uh, I feel like I'm healthy. Everything's good. I don't have any pain. I'm in one of those places where everything's working good, but I'm carrying more weight than I care to. And it's like I'm still in the same place. But then then you start, gratitude. Gratitude is such a huge thing. You got to be grateful. And, all this is a balance. You can't be fake. You can't just, these challenges with 30 days of gratitude where you just write down, I'm glad for my legs. I'm glad for my life. It's deeper than that. Uh, but then when I look around and look where I'm at financially, uh, the relationships that I have had, and I'm very grateful for that, but I'm not where I want to be. Now, I wrote down on my board here, it's not a test. A lot of people think that we're being tested or that we're to learn a lesson. And the only time that I feel that that is the case is if you want something, then it's kind of like Groundhog Day. If you truly want something, then it's just going to keep happening until you learn the lesson because it's the lesson you want to learn, unless you change that lesson. I take full responsibility. I'm single because of me. My finances are where they are because of me, which they're not in a bad place. Don't get me wrong. I'm very, very grateful for where I'm at and what I have the ability to do. Uh, I want a lot, uh, and it's okay to want. My health, my weight is because of me. It's because of my thinking. It's because of my actions. It's because of the goals I've set, the plan I've made, the action I've taken, and the results I'm getting. And it seems like yeah, that's the formula. That's one of the formulas to getting to what you want. You can sit there and try and manifest and visualize. That's all part of it. But the action part, and you have to check your results, right? You have to say, am I getting what I want? Is this really what I want? How did I do it? How do I repeat it? Kind of a scientific formula. So, yeah, like I said, it's been, I don't know, I feel like a lot of the things that I go through, a lot of other people are going through. I posted the other day, sometimes it feels like it's you against the world, right? Even though it's not really, you have people around you. You have people that are there for you, cheering you on. I've had some situations where I'm refinancing the house. Just some stuff goes through, some stuff doesn't. You think, is it meant to be or was it meant to be? Well, this is a sign. Is it a sign, or is it something you manifested because of the way you're thinking? So it's a matter of being aware of the observer. You have to be aware of your thoughts. You have to think about the things you're thinking about. And at first, it's like, well, that sounds like work. Well, I mean, what is it work? What do you want? And what is what you're doing working, getting you what you want? Uh, yeah, life is. I don't like a lot of the key cliches, but I did post the other day when yeah, when it was that post. Sometimes it feels like you against the world, but you can't. What it is, what it is. I used to not like the saying, but it is. It is what it is at this moment, but it's not what it will be if you're willing to take the change, make the change, take the action, and make the change. And that's probably to get what you want out of life. For me, is focusing on what you want. And that's the challenge. The challenge is to not focus on what is, because it is, whether it's your health, whether you're not feeling good, whether you're broke, whatever it is, right? You're single, but if you want to have money, if you want to have the health, if you want to have the partner, that's what you have to see and that's what you have to feel. And that's the challenge. That's the challenge, is to get out of that feeling of being alone or being broke, and taking the action steps, taking it one day at a time. And that's being in the moment. Be in that moment. You have to expect it. You have to truly. Sorry, I just noticed it seemed like my eyebrows have a big gap right there. You have to truly expect it. Now, I hear people say, don't expect anything from anyone and then don't be disappointed. Well, there's also a saying, you get what you tolerate. So if you don't expect anything from someone, then you'll tolerate anything. It's okay to expect things from people, just don't have an emotional attachment to the outcome. Because that's how you decide who you're going to have around you and who you're not, who you're going to be, who's going to be your partner in life, or whatever the case may be. You have to have expectations, because those are your desires, those are your wants. That's what. And I was thinking about it today. I used to have a question about the words, because words matter, but there's a balance. Yeah, there's a balance to everything. A play on words. what it comes down to is truly what a feeling is, what that word means to you. But the words want and need. Now, there's certain things I want out of life, and there's certain things I want out of a partner. Now, wanting certain things like cars, boats, money is one thing. Wanting things for your health is another, right? Is a different thing, right? It's personal, and these are objects. And then wanting a partner. Well, now you're dealing with someone else, right? What they want. And I realized today, because I've played with this need and want, and there is something I need from someone. I need companionship. But there is a certain type of companionship I need. So to find that right match is the key. They say you got to find your crazy, the crazy that matches your crazy. And it's out there. You don't have to force it. And again, it's a balance. And I bring this up because that's been weighing heavy on my mind. Maybe because Valentine's Day is coming up. Who knows? Uh, Maybe I felt like I was really close to having what I needed, but anyway, you can have what you want, and everything starts up here. That I'm convinced of. It's how you perceive things. There's a saying: if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. A little play on words, it's how you think about things, how you feel about things, and that's the essence of it. And it's tricky, I feel for people that are addicted to drugs or whatever. It's tough. I feel like I'm addicted to some things. I have OCD on some things, and I can see how that can really be challenging for someone. And obviously having support. Yeah, the other thing, the other thing I wanted to bring up, I watched a couple of episodes of Surviving Death on Netflix, and that was interesting. But in one of the episodes, they had a group for people that have had near death experiences. So support group, and some of them were saying how they see life differently. And I'm like, well, I see life differently. And oftentimes I feel like that puts me on the outside because I see things differently and I feel differently. But don't we all? I see that on a regular basis and I get it. I understand why someone feels and sees the way they do. And I see why I might not agree with them, but you can still have empathy, right? You can still sympathize, empathize, whatever. And that's what makes the world go round. We all see things differently for whatever we've been through. You just have to know that you're not crazy. Uh, you're perfect the way you are, if that's what you want. That's what used to get me about people losing weight. You're perfect the way you are. You don't have to be a supermodel, and that's fine. If you're happy and comfortable with the way you are, then that's good. But if there's something inside of you that wants to change if you want to change the way you look, the way you think, the way anything about it, then, are you fighting that that change, and that's where the self-awareness comes in. Am I wanting to change this for someone else because of society, because of programming, or is it something that I truly want? And I'm denying myself because now I'm saying, oh, I just want this because someone else. And that's that's the yin yang. That's where the balance comes in. You got to figure out what's right for you and go for it. You have to be honest and truthful with yourself to get what you want. 20 minutes in, I'm done. I'm going to finish my tea. Yeah. E-